Page 230, Scherzo. This is another repertoire piece you can learn to play. I think it's a bit challenging, but they put it in the book here, so okay. I'm just going to go through the process that I use when learning a piece of music, and hopefully it will take me where I need to go. I look it over, it's 2 pages long. Now, it's actually longer than that, but there's only 2 pages of music to deal with. It's treble and bass clef, at least to start. Now, that can change throughout. I'll deal with that when I get there. There are no sharps or flats shown, so it's either C major or A minor. I believe it starts out in there with A minor chords. I'm guessing we're in A minor. Do the arpeggios and scales, though, for both C major and A minor if you're doing them, in my opinion. I got videos on it. Okay. 3/8 time, so an eighth note gets a count. So the 16th note is really just 1 and 2 and 3 and. I want to figure out a fingering that works for me where I can pretty much connect the notes as best I can. Their fingering, we start with that and see what happens. We're here, 1 and 2 and 3. Just cross over for one note. And then a little finger again. You can do a thumb or a second finger. My problem is going from measure 2 to 3. I don't want to go here to here. I don't want a little finger on both. So I'm going to adjust it for me, and rather than starting on here, I'm going to come up one and start here. So my little finger's on that F. So it's 4. And on 3, 2. It's like a scale. So it's 1 and 2. 1, 2. And again, either thumb or second finger. I don't know if you fit up here or not. If you fit up here, you can do a thumb. Otherwise, it's second finger. And then again, 4. Now, in measure 6, I'm going to go a 3, 4, 1. That's because I got a C coming. I got to be in position for that. So I'm going from here to here. So I'm here, 4, 1. Now I'm in position. And that lets me connect all the notes. Going on measure 9, we're down here. 1 and 2 and 3. Scrunch up, scrunch up. And for measure 12, I'm going to reach down with his 4th finger. Here. I don't want to go 5th finger, both. I could do cross over, or I could just reach down. Cross over here. Either way is fine. If you want to, and this is measure 12. If you want to do a 3rd finger and cross over, that's okay. But I do 4. And then 4th finger for measure 13. And that fingering works on that one. Let's go on to measure 17. Here's a 1, 2, 4. I'm going to do a 2, 3, 5 on the next one. I kind of get both of these chords in one hand position. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you got to come up. And in measure 20, look out. You have multiple voices. We have dotted quarter notes. Hold them down for 3 counts. And that top voice, 1, 2, 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. So on the 3rd beat, those 3 notes are down. And then just stay there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then for measure 23, you can do a 1, 3, and then a 1, 4. And connect the top note. That's what I'm after. In the measure 25 would come up here. 1 and 2 and 3. And the 3. Now that didn't work very well. So, measure 26, I'm going to cross under and put thumb on that. That way I'm in position. 1 and 2 and 3. And 1 and thumb. And then 2nd finger. Then reach up. 1 and 2. Fingerings there and measures 30, 31, 32 is fine in the book. That works out fine. Starting with measure 29, actually, you're up here. And by the way, at measure 25, we went into the key of F major. 1 flat, so all the B's are flat. And then the rest of this chords fingered similar to what we did at the top of the page. Okay. Left hand. Well, chords at the beginning is 1 here, 2/7 chord. 7 is 5/7. Just reach down. Okay, going on, measure 9. That wavy line, I'll come back to that. Right now it's just here. And then come up here. Scrunch up. Scrunch up. And then down. Okay, measure 17. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I suggest I'll measure 19 rather than 2, 1. There's keeping in this position, but I got to come up here for the next measure. So I'm going to prepare for that and measure 19 rather than 2, 1. I'm going to come up and do a 3, 2. I just did a 3, 2 here. I can come up again. This way I don't have to go as far. Then come down. Now in the second line there, I'll measure 23. Here you can do a 2, 1 because you're going down. We're in position. Then in measure 25, we have treble clef. So here, we're up here. For measure 27, you can do this one or this one. And again, I don't know how big your hands are. Or here. And then measure 29 is C7 chord. And I do use third finger here, even though it's a third. It's because of the chord and this. Otherwise, I got to do that. But I'm going to use a 3 on that. No, because in the fingering style I teach, remember that if these notes, the little finger's involved, and they're only a third apart, I use 4. But in this case, 4 doesn't work very well unless I do that. So I'm going to go ahead and use third like they're suggesting in the book. If you don't fit up in here, then you have to do that. Again, I don't know how big your fingers are, or hands are. And then the rest of that at the bottom is similar to what we had at the top of that page. Put the hands together. Well, slowly, and I'll hesitate. That's okay. I'm still connecting. You can't connect the chords, of course, but that's okay. Let's go to measure 9. We're here. And as I'm playing these, I got the left hand up here. Same rhythm. And then here. And then measure 17. We're here. Measure 20, at the end of the measure, there's 4 notes down. And then here. Measure 25. Both hands come up. You have a rest in the right hand. So I suggest you get it up here. And the left hand is staccato. I'll come back to that later. But right now, 1, 2, 3. During 3, you get up here and get ready to go. That way you only have to worry about the left hand getting it up. So it's 1, 2, 3, and you're up here. And then you have this run going down here, and you do that some more. Okay. Once I can do that, then I'll try and go over and get rid of all the hesitations. And here I can break it up. It looks like about every 2 lines or so, approximately, is a section. So just take it that much. Like get the first 2 lines down, no hesitations. Then once you have that, set them aside. Don't keep playing them, just set them aside. Get the next 2 lines, and then the next 2 lines, and then the last 3 lines. Shouldn't be too bad on the last 3 lines because the end of it is very much like the beginning of page 231. And once I can get all of those sections with no hesitation, each section with no hesitations, then I'll go back and put it all together. And once I have the hesitations out, and this is still slow, we'll do the speed later. I'll do the articulation and that curvy line there, that arpeggiated chord. Staccatos are short and flexing here. I'm on the key and I'm bouncing off. Accent. And I am lifting out. I don't know know if the phrases or not yet, but I am lifting up between these curved lines. Now in the second line, I'm going to connect that whole line together in the right hand. This, because the 16th notes lead into what's coming, and I'm not going to split it. Measure 9, this. Different people play this differently. You do it however your teacher tells you to do it. But I play the bottom note on the beat. And I will have them all down before I play the second note. Here. It's not staccato either. It comes up when you play the B. You can separate these. Bottom of the page, measures 14 and 15. I connect those in the right hand. Connect that. Don't separate it. No, just lead into it and accent. Now measure 17. I'm going to connect this as best I can. Here, the left hand actually finishes first because of the staccato. But then you got one beat of rest to get both hands up here. Good luck with that. Work it out. Practice if you have to. You got to get up here. I do it one hand at a time usually. But you can do both hands at once if you want. Just make sure you're in that position. You got to come up to this position. So you come here. Accent. There's no accent here on measure 29. I don't know why not, but there's not. And connect all this together and connect the 16th notes into the dotted quarter note. Now on measure 9, if this chord isn't working for you, then just play them together. That's all. Just make sure it's not staccato, it's a eighth note. Then I have the dynamics. It applies to the melody, which for the most part is the right hand. We'll see. F is loud here. That makes the accented note a very loud note. These need to be soft. And then measure 5, come down a little bit. You're sort of echoing it. Then you're going to go up to loud. And come down. Back down to a moderately soft, moderately loud. Measure 9, now we're soft. This, very soft. It's, in my opinion, it's the right hand on measure 9, 10, 11, 12. That's what we want to hear. This left hand is harmony. Keep it in the background. I want to hear that. And that's soft. Yeah, and then up to moderately loud. Up to loud. With an accented note makes it very loud. And then loud. Measure 17. We're soft, both hands. And we're going to go up. They don't say how much to go up. You're going to swell and then come back down. I'm suggesting you go up to about a moderately loud or moderately soft. You don't have to go up very much. Here, a little louder, and then come back down. Now, so it looks to me like measure 17, you're starting it soft. You're going to go up to about a moderately loud. Come down a little bit to about a moderately soft to measure 21. Then come back down to soft. Soft. That's how I would interpret it. You can interpret it differently. That's fine. And the measure 25, you're moderately loud going up to loud. Bottom. There. And you're staying loud until measure, what, 31 or so. You're loud. Measure 30 is loud. And then I start coming down. Back down to soft. Yeah, you have to experiment with that. You do get that swell again at the bottom. Come down. So you put in the dynamics. When I first put in the dynamics and articulation, I am doing it, I'm forcing it. It's mechanical. Once I get into, I know the piece and I start feeling the piece, and I'm not thinking about mechanics, I start feeling these dynamics and articulation, and you may adjust them slightly. That's fine. As far as I'm concerned, it's fine. Don't adjust them very much, but if you feel it, put it in. Then the speed. Allegretto is between moderato and allegro. I call it the fun speed. Keep in mind, tempo is not always the speed of the beat. It's the feel of the piece. It may or may not be the speed of the beat. These things, they have to be even. So on like measure 29 and so forth, play those evenly and smoothly. What you can do with those is probably going to be the speed of the beat or speed of the piece. I don't know how fast that beat is. I don't care. It's the overall feel of it has to be that way. Now you know how repeat signs work, I hope. So you play in the first two lines twice, then you play in the next two lines twice, then you play in the next two lines twice, and then you play the last three lines twice, and then you go back to the beginning and go to fine. And I do not do the repeats on a DC. So when I go back to the beginning after the DC, I would just play page 230 all straight down. I would not repeat those again. And the fine is at the bottom of page 230. The repeat sign is covering up the end of the piece symbol. Yeah. Something you want to keep in mind when you got a lot of runs and things like on measures 30 and 31 and all that. When you're doing these, do them similar to the way I do the scales in the scale videos. Do them very slowly and accent every beat, starting at measure 30. We're here. Drop the wrist on every one. And then speed it up a little in every two beats. Accent and drop the wrist, and then try every three beats. The idea is that, and then maybe four beats, slowly. I mean, it's not according to the time signature here on this, because what I want to do is I want to drop the wrist and accent on any note. And this helps to keep the run smooth and even, because then when I'm playing it, I'm thinking the natural accents 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here, but keep in mind there's a slight beat on each beat. 1, 2, 3. I exaggerate as you can see. This helps keep the runs even. Otherwise, it's just a free-for-all. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. I will do the articulation, and I'll do the repeats. We're going to do the whole thing because it's like 2.5 times longer than it looks. But that's all right. I got time. I'll give us 3 counts. 1 and ready and go and. Repeat. Rest. Repeat. Rest. Repeat. Rest. Repeat. To the beginning. To the next line. Wrist.